Hello, everybody. Hope you're all well. Make sure everyone can hear me. I'm on my own today. I'm on my own, which is very, very sad for me because now I've got to find an hour to basically talk to myself, because as much as you lovely people are, of course, there and you're in the background and you're chatting and stuff, I am on my own and I'm effectively just talking to a picture of myself on the screen. But I've got lots to discuss today. I've got loads to go through today. So look, a couple of things before we start off. As I'm on my own, I need your help, okay? I need you guys to be asking questions, coming and saying hello. If you're just new here, or if you haven't been onto this live stream before, this is a live stream that is for you. The primary focus of this is you as traders, as wannabe traders who are looking to get themselves funded, looking to get themselves into a position where maybe you're quitting your day job or whatever it may be. My focus here is to help you achieve that goal as quickly as possible, okay? Trading is a difficult world. It is a difficult world to navigate. And, you know, a lot of people don't realize how tough it's going to be. We're here to give you the hard facts that you need and to give you the information that you need, you know, to help you get there quicker. Diego and I, so Diego, who I usually host this with, you know, we've been through all the hardship that you guys have been through. Been through all the pain that you've been through. We've been through all the account losses that you've been through. Basically, every situation that you can imagine that is happening to you, that you feel right now is only happening to you and has never happened to anyone else in the world. I promise you, Diego and I have been through it probably multiple times, okay? All of those fears that you have with trading, that it's not, you know, it's not doable, it's not possible, and you know, only very few people actually make it. We're here to reassure you that those worries are unfounded, and you know, we're going to help you achieve your goals ultimately. So, what I'd like to do today is to, for you guys who are watching right now, come say hello in the comments. I'll give you a shout out live. Come say hello. Come and introduce yourself throughout the session today. Ask me questions. Fire questions my way, post me charts, you know, whatever you want to do, and you know, we'll see how we can help. And today's focus is the importance of journaling. Now, we were discussing this. Last week. Apologies. We were discussing this last week, but we were talking more about backtesting processes. And backtesting processes, they kind of go hand in hand with journal. I.e., you need a really good journal to be able to backtest properly, right? So a journal is where you're going to collect data. And for those of you that were, you know, on last week and may have thought that maybe I sound like a bit like a broken record, data is what you need to turn yourself into a successful trader. That is literally what you're looking for. Is you are looking for data. You need to understand what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, and making sure that you are putting yourself in a position where you can grow and develop. Because becoming a professional trader isn't actually very hard. A lot of people like massively overcomplicate it. What you've got to do as a professional trader is you've got to find patterns. Let's just call them patterns. And I'm not talking about bullish and bearish flags. I'm not talking about, you know, SMC reversal, change of characters, okay, wedges, heads and shoulders. I'm not talking about those kind of patterns. When I say patterns, I mean events that happen regularly and over again, okay? So what you've got to do is you've got to spot patterns that occur in the marketplace, i.e., on this day, at this time, this move happens regularly. That's a pattern, okay? And then you have to acknowledge that pattern, record that pattern, and then work out if that pattern happens more or less than the opposite pattern. So that might be, you know, the trade ultimately losing, okay? And I'll go through some examples with you today to help. But talk me through, those of you who are watching right now, come say hello. Talk me through what benefits you've had from your journaling processes. You know, what have you noticed with your journaling? How does journaling help you? Why do you do it? Do you do it? Lots of you might not do it at all. And that's, do you know what? That's absolutely fine, okay? Hopefully today we can show you why we need to journal and how we're going to journal effectively so that you can become better traders, okay? And I've got a few different ways of doing this today. By the end of it, you're going to have like a how-to guide of how to take yourself from here to here and make yourself ultimately a better trader. Now, first things first, I'm just going to load up a chart, and I'm just going to kind of talk through a couple of situations. Just bear with me 2 moments. Let me just share my chart. You may have to bear with me a couple of moments today, guys, because normally I'm Diego who can kind of fill the time whilst I'm loading things up. Again, I can only keep one eye on the comments, but look, guys, come and pop up, come say hello in the comments, come, have a chat with me, talk me through what you're going through at the moment, talk me through, how your trading's being, talk me through what your journaling processes are, and I'll answer any questions that I have on the live stream today, okay? So let's just look at, I'll tell you what, a good one. Let's look at Asia range, okay? So this is a really good example. So a lot of people like to trade the Asia range. For those of you who don't understand my charts as well, my Asia range is this orange highlighted section here, okay? So what we want to test, okay, is an Asia range trading strategy. So to keep it nice and simple, okay, this isn't a trading strategy, we'll say that. What we want to test is, after the Asia range is swept, how many times do we get a trade that takes us 1-to-1, for example? Okay, that's maybe the setup that we want to test. Okay, so that trade would be a failure. This trade would be a win, as you can see here. Okay, 1-to-1, nice and easily there. And one thing I'd always recommend as well is when you're trying to test out whether or not you've got an edge in the marketplace, and this is a really good rule of thumb, initially trade it on a 1-to-1 basis. And the reason why I suggest trading it on a 1-to-1 basis is if you want to truly understand whether or not you have an edge in the marketplace, you need to truly understand whether or not your pattern or your setup or your entry model plays out more or less often than it doesn't. That makes sense. You need to make sure that this pattern plays out more or less often. Now, we're talking here primarily kind of, the mechanical based strategies right now. So, very simple. If Asia range is swept, how often do we get 1-to-1 before obviously we hit a stop loss? Let's have a quick look there. Okay, so we've got 2 against 1. So now we've got 2 wins, and we've got 1 loss. Okay, so we mark that on, 2 wins, 1 loss. Let's actually change that to put it as some fixed text. Let's put that here. Okay, 2 wins, 1 loss. Okay, so the sweep happened here, and then it closed back within here. So the stop will be there. Do we get 1-to-1? 1-to-1. Yeah, okay, cool. So now we've got 3 wins, 1 loss. Next one here, we get into this trade like this. Stop below that low, and we don't get 1-to-1, you get stopped out. Okay, so this now gives us a collection of data that we can start understanding and using. And what you want to do is you want to build this over time. So let's expand this, and let's say we end up with 34 wins and we end up with 22 losses. Okay. What your journal is effectively going to do for you is going to show you these patterns emerging. So if we've got 34 plus 22, that gives us a total of 56 trades. Okay, so we've got 56 trades. Okay, 56 trades. Now out of that 56 trades, 34 of them won. Okay, which means we have a 60% strike rate. That's the first thing that you need to establish. Is the trading strategy itself more or less profitable? As in, do you have an edge? A 60% strike rate is an edge. And from there, you can start to build and grow upon that. Now, lots of people understand journaling. Lots of people understand how journaling works, okay? But so few people actually understand how to implement it. There's a few reasons why we're doing it. A, we want to make sure the strategy works and that we've got an edge. B, we're then going to use it to develop and refine our strategy. And I'm going to come back to that in just a moment. Hey, Emma, thanks for chipping in. I love the picture, by the way. Love the picture. It looks a little bit like me from behind, although I have a few more clothes on, I'll be honest. You have a question for me? And it is Chris. I mean, I don't want to shame you on the live stream, but it is Chris rather than Christian. I do like Christian. That was always the name that I wanted to be called when I was younger. I thought it was a bit cooler than Christopher, which is my technical name. But yeah, any questions that you have, just fire them in. Can you teach us how to trade DCA? Dollar costing average. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, Emma. I don't know what the dollar cost averaging is. You might need to explain it to me. I mean, I can have a quick look. average. It's not something, I'll be honest, it's not something that I personally trade, and it's not something that I personally understand. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. So today's session is more about how we journal and how we journal our trades. I don't know how, if you can give me a bit more information about the dollar cost average, what's the average win rate? I mean, just to expand on that a little bit. So it sounds like you're referring to a specific trading strategy on the dollar, potentially, and what the average win rate is. I mean, that is the $1 million question, okay? Your average win rate is dependent on the times that you're trading, the entry model that you're using, the strategy that you're using, and therefore the entry model that you're using alongside that strategy. It is a $1 million question. If you are trying to understand what the average win rate of your strategy is, then this session for you today will be really, really helpful, because we are literally going to go through step by step how you would understand how your strategy is or isn't working. Okay. If you want, I mean, this session is less about what the average win rate is, because the average win rate is something personal to you. Okay. There isn't a unified strategy that the world works in trade, the world uses in trading. So your average win rate is something very specific to you and how you trade and the strategy that you use. So I will teach you the methods today of how you can work out your own average win rate. I'll be more than happy to do so. Okay. Hey Tanvir, hope you're well. Good to have you back, my dude. Any questions for me today? I'm on my own today, as you can see. So it'd be lovely if you can chip in. Maybe on before, if you can chip in and come say hello. If Lawrence is in the background, Boss Lady's in the background, Linny, if you're in the background, any of you more regulars, come and ask me some questions today. Anything you have to ask. And we'll be happy to go through those. Let's get back to our journaling and we'll go from there. Okay. So we now have proven that this strategy over this simulated event, okay, these simulated trades, we have a 60% strike rate, 60% strike rate at a risk to reward of 1-to-1. Now, that in itself is a good trading strategy, i.e., if I'm taking 10 trades, okay, and I maintain that strike rate, 6 trades win, which gives me 6% at 1% per trade. Okay, 4 trades lose, which gives me 4% loss, 1%, total 2%. Okay, now look, it might not be the best strategy, 2% at 1% per trade. Okay, it might not be the absolute best strategy, but I'll tell you this now. 2% a week, 2% every couple of weeks, that is a damn sight better than a lot of the traders are out there. And this is, this is half the problem. This is the problem for so many traders these days, is they glorify these massive wins and they look at social media and Instagram and think you've got to get in with a 2-pip stop loss or a 3-pip stop loss, and you've got to hold your trade for 100 pips and you've got to get yourself a 50-to-1 or a 40-to-1 trade. And it's just nonsensical, because trying to trade like that as a newbie, which is how so many of you are. Hey Carwin, welcome dude, good to have you on. Any questions you have for me, fire them across to me today. I know you've got lots of questions for me usually, so get them in here. We're talking about journaling today, so any questions, just fire them out to me. Trying to obtain 40, 50 R trades when you are an inexperienced trader is an impossible dream. Now, if you want to chase that, in the future, then you're welcome to do so. The problem that you have with strategies like this is you might take 10 trades, okay? It might even take you 20 trades, for example, and you're going to be having 19 losses, okay, and 1 win, okay, 1 win. And let's say, for argument's sake, you get a 20-to-1 trade. Well, you still only made 1 R, okay? And that's the problem. And this isn't the biggest issue with this. The biggest issue with this style of trading is most people can't maintain a sane mind when they are trading like this. So, our 1-to-1 strategy, that's given us 60% strike rate, It's giving us 2% out. Think about it this way. Most traders are losing consistently, as in most traders are going into the marketplaces and they're losing over and over and over again because they can't maintain their strategy and they can't maintain their rules and whatever it may be. Imagine if you tried to add in the fact that you've got a 20-to-1 trade and, or 20 to 1 trading strategy, right? And then you're trying to get into a position like this, for example, with a tiny pip stop like that, and then hold it for, your 20-to-1, whatever that may be. And then you see price come down all the way down to here, for example, and then starts reversing on you. Reversing. Are you going to have the balls to actually hold that trade longer and take that trade all the way down? Okay, maybe not. That's the thing. This type of trading strategy where you're holding for 20-to-1, we'll just use that as our example today. That kind of trading strategy, typically people break the rules quicker. And they also can't humble the fact that they've taken a loss here, they've taken a loss here, and they've taken a loss here. Okay, so they can't get their head around the fact that actually, and what they do is after the third loss in a row, they don't then take the fourth trade. And then they miss out on the massive move, and they get really frustrated. So they then take another position down here and get stopped out again, another position here, get stopped out again, and before they know it, they've blown their account. Okay, so I think with trading, most people probably watching this and most people out there in the trading world will be less experienced traders. But I don't know if those of you watching, if you've had experiences like that where you're chasing trades. Have you had experiences where you're chasing a trade and you take a loss and you take another loss and you take a third loss and then eventually you just give up on it and then the trade moves in your favor? I've seen it so many times. It happens all the time. What about you guys? Have you had those situations in the past? Now, what I always think with trading as a whole is you need to learn to run before you can walk. I.e., if this strategy here is going for 1-to-1, okay, and this strategy here is going for 20-to-1, okay, there's a gap that you have to bridge to get here, okay? The problem is people immediately come in and start getting those results or start trying to get these results, okay? Because this is really glamorous. Everyone loves the look of 20-to-1 trades. Nobody loves the look of 1-to-1 trades. And the problem with that is they come in, they try to achieve this, and it doesn't work. Now, what ultimately happens is, imagine this is your trading journey. You have some wins, you have some losses, you have some wins, you have some losses, you have some wins, you have some losses. Eventually, you just get to a point where you're down here. And then it takes some time and takes patience for you to get yourself back here. So many traders I know start off here, and then they end up over here within time, because this sort of trading actually makes more consistent money. Just go and have a look around on Instagram today. Go and have a look at the most profitable traders that you know, okay? And I'm not just talking about some young kid, a 20-year-old social media person. I'm talking about an established trader. So this is how to tell the difference. You have, on one hand, you have your social media gurus, okay? And those social media gurus, they're normally on their own. They don't have affiliations with many other names in the industry. They're just on their own. They've got a big following. They talk about their strategy and how effectively it works, and blah, 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 blah. And it's normally like a young lad who is seemingly very successful, looking at 5, 10, 15, 20 trades, okay? Typically, they're not making money. Go and look at some big names that are well established, people that have affiliations with well-respected trading firms, prop firms, and things like that. People that have verified track records, people that post their results regularly, things like that. Those are the people that you want to watch. When you go and have a look at them, you'll notice they're not going for 4, 5, 6, 7 positions. They're coming out of the marketplace quickly. They're getting in and out quickly because they've learned the hard way. All right. Anyway, the point we were making is that there is a big gap between here and here. And actually starting to here is the right place to start. You can bridge that gap eventually if you want to. If you're making enough money using this, you may not ever need to. And that's the mentality that you need to have. Learn to run before you walk. If you were learning to play golf, you're going to be shooting for 1-to-1s. You're going to be shooting for 1-to-1s. And then, you're going to be going down the driving range. You're going to try to hit the ball straight before you go and play around with Tiger Woods. Right? And that's the mentality that you need to have. Learn to walk before you can run. I'm just going to go through a few questions. Hey, Jamie, welcome, dude. Thank you for coming in and asking your question. TradeZeller, Traders Inc. that automatically logs your trades, collects data, and offers suggestions. You always do it manually. So personally, I always do it manually. I'm in a different position to most, where I have some quite advanced trading. I have some quite advanced trading journals available to me that I built from the ground up. So they look after me. I'm going to talk you through a couple that I use. They look after me really, really well. Yes, they are manual, which is definitely a downside, but they work very, very effectively for me. And they're mine, so I can control them. I can control the data in them, and it's specific to my strategy. And therefore, I share them with my students and things like that. If you reach out to me on Instagram at Strong Money Forex, I'll put it in the feed now at Strong Money Forex. Okay, go and give me a follow. Drop me a message. I'll be happy to send you across a copy of my journal if you'd like to have a look at it. I do know people that use TradeZeller. I don't know Traders Inc. I think I've heard of it, but I don't know it as well as TradeZeller. And it is, from what I understand, a very good piece of kit. It's not something personally that I use, but I do understand that it is, a very good piece of software. The fact that it also logs your trades for you, I think, is really, really cool. It stops you kind of missing out on trades and things like that. So it is a very effective journal if you can afford it. And that's the thing that, again, so many traders, they are working full time, they're probably trading because they're looking to get themselves, more money. They probably haven't got enough money, probably want more. That's why they're trading or learning how to trade at least. And the downside with TradeZeller is it's going to cost you $50 a month. So as a starting point, a really good journal, and there's loads about, you can find loads about. Like I said, I'm happy to send you mine. I'll extend that offer to anyone watching. Follow me on Instagram at Strong Money Forex. If you want a copy of the journal, I'll send it across to you that we're going to be talking about in just a moment. Okay. So Emma, Chris, in honesty, I want a 1 to 10 strategy with at least a 50% win rate. In all honesty, Emma, you're probably not going to achieve that anytime soon. I'm going to be completely honest with you. You're definitely not going to achieve it with a support and resistance strategy. That would be my opinion. Okay. Support and resistance strategies are widely considered to be one of the most basic and limited strategies that are available. I'm going to hazard a guess, and apologies if not, but I'm going to hazard a guess that you're very new to trading. And look, great to have you here. Hopefully we can steer you on the right course. But if you look at most experienced traders, no one's really trading support and resistance. It's a very basic strategy from years and years ago. It's not very commonly used anymore. Most of the successful traders that I know will learn a liquidity-based strategy, which is so far, you got support resistance on one side and you've got liquidity far, far away from it. It's a very, very different world. If you are looking for a 1 to 10 win rate, I've got to ask you why. Let's go back to the numbers, okay? So you want, hang on 2 seconds. You want let's just copy this. Okay, so you want a 1 to 10 win rate. Okay, 1 to 10 risk to reward with a 50% win rate. Okay, look at it this way. You're taking 10 trades. Okay, 5 wins will give you 50 R. Okay, 5 wins will give you 5 R. It means you're ending up at the end of this with 45 R, or at 1% per trade, 45%. Okay, that sort of trading strategy, I'm sure there's some high level traders somewhere that's trading like that. I don't know of them. That sort of trading strategy would widely be considered the holy grail. Think about it this way. If you could win 1 to 10, 50% of the time, you will be one of the most successful, wealthiest, and revered traders that there has ever been in the industry today. Okay. That sort of trading strategy is the holy grail strategy. In fact, we'll mark it on as gold. It is the holy grail strategy. The likelihood of it is so very slim. If you get there, then kudos to you. But again, learn to walk before you can run. Start off with a modest strategy. If you're learning to trade support and resistance, okay, make sure you can consistently get 1 to 1 out first. Make sure your trading strategy has an edge. okay? And then you ultimately want to go from there, okay? Right, now let's talk through some trade journal options. So you can go for a very basic trading journal. So let's have a quick look. So you can go for a very basic trading journal like this. Okay, so this is a trading journal that I've used. Just bear with me 2 moments. Where's my filtering gone? 2 seconds. Okay, so this is just a very basic trading journal. This is what I use to kind of test out strategies. It's really, really simple. It has a date in, it has the pair, it has the result that I returned. So this was a particularly good batch of trading data, 55% on this selection of trades with a 77% win rate. Okay. What this, without going into too much detail, what this strategy tester does is it tests out different take profit levels and different break even levels. And then I've got in here all of my trades that I took, how I took them, of course, and I've got a screenshot of each and every trade that I took, why I took them, where I took them from, etc., etc., etc. So that's a very simple journal that's just data collection. So if you're doing nothing else, I would highly recommend that you just start recording data. Okay, you just start recording data and just spotting patterns. For example, if you look at nothing else but your win rate. So this is I've been trading for 10 years now. This is a very good win rate. That is even for me, that's a high win rate. I would expect to win 65% of my trades in an average to good week. But anything above 50%, remember this is it, right? As long as you've got a positive risk to reward, anything above 50% is good. By positive risk to reward, I mean at least a 1-to-1. i.e., if you're going for 1 to 0.5, so your stop is 1 and your profit is only 0.5, you've got a negative risk to reward. Okay, that can work. This is another conversation that can work personally. If you want to prove that your strategy works, you need to go for 1-to-1. And you're not going to be able to do that effectively just looking at trades and taking trades and thinking about it. You have to log it. Half of your problems could be solved. Half of your trading problems can be solved if you just started logging your trades. If you did nothing but this, hang on. If you did nothing but this would give you more. This would give you more information and data than you could understand. This in itself just tells you if your strategy is profitable or not. If you're going for 1-to-1 and you're winning more trades than you're losing, you have an edge in the marketplace. And that's the first thing that you need to be doing, is understanding whether or not you have an edge. How many of you in the chat right now, just put a Y for yes or an N for no. How many in the chat right now journal? As in, every time you take a trade, and I'm talking religiously, I'm not saying you do it once every couple of weeks and you put a couple of trades and then you don't go back to it for a couple of weeks. I'm saying every single day, at the end of the day, sit down to mark up and record the trades that you took. I'll put a Y in the chat if you do, put an N in the chat if you don't. I'll be really interested to see how many of us actually do it. Carwin is a yes. Love that from you. I would expect that from you though. So good work. Who else? Who else in the chat is journaling? Put a Y for yes or an N for no. Come and say hello and let me know if you're journaling at the moment, if you're not. Okay. So a quick look. I'm very clearly knowledgeable. Doesn't teach me is trading 1 to 10, 50% win rate, advanced support resistance. Price must tap trend line, support resistance zone with a bullish candle close. Well, look, it sounds, Emma, that you've clearly got it sorted. Hopefully that works out for you. It sounds like a very basic strategy, but if he's getting 1 to 10 with a 50% win rate, then you're on to an absolute winner. He must be a very advanced trader, and I genuinely wish you all the best. Just be wary of the fact that he may be a very experienced trader and getting those results may take you a little bit of time. But if you've got somebody who you know and who you trust, who is receiving those results, and you can see that he's able to teach students to get those results, and you've got verified results, it does sound a little bit like a holy grail strategy for me, which there's normally something else going on, but I genuinely really wish you all the best, and I hope it works out. And I'd love to hear back from you with your results on that, because it sounds like you're onto a bit of a winner there. But yeah, let us know how it goes. Keep in contact with us. If you found a good mentor who's teaching a strategy that is working and proves to be working, then look, double down on it, because if you've got a strategy like that, it sounds fantastic, and I really wish you all the best with it. All right. Again, coming back to, he said to me, simplicity is key in the market and most overcomplicate trading. Yeah, I'd agree with you. I'd agree with you on that. Simplicity is key in the market and most do overcomplicate trading. Absolutely right. This doesn't sound simple to me. I'll be honest. A support and resistance with a trend line with a 1 to 10 win rate and 1 to 10 with 50% win rate. Those numbers don't make sense to me. But I trust that you've done your research and you understand that that it's working. I'd love to hear more from you. Reach out to me on Instagram at StrongMoneyForex. Please reach out to me on Instagram. I'd love to have a chat with you about that, and maybe we can have a look at the strategy together and just understand and make sure I'll give you the reassurance that who you're dealing with is legitimate. It sounds too good to be true. Hopefully it's not. But I'll be more than happy to help you with that and help you understand that. I mean, just using, for example, Diego, one of the coach that I usually do these sessions with, typically he's doing very similar. So he uses trend lines and liquidity levels. He probably boasts somewhere around a 50-60% win rate. He gets about 1 to 4 on a very, very similar strategy. And I know that he's been trading in 10 years or so. Very, very good, very, very experienced trader. It would be amazing if that was 100% possible. And again, I'd love to hear more from you about it. So reach out to me on Instagram. Boss lady, welcome. I've been on my own for half an hour. For half an hour, I've been on my own. We've just asked, do you journal? I'm sure you do journal. You must journal. You must journal. We have one why, one yes in the comments so far. Anybody else out there? Are you journaling at the moment? Why for yes, N for no. If no, it's not a problem at all. But if no, why don't you? Why don't you journal? I'd love to understand why you don't journal. And I've got a few reasons why I think a lot of people don't journal. I think people think it's boring for a start, because it is boring. It is really boring. Let's just be honest. It is a really boring process. I think also people they like the excitement of trading. They don't like the admin of trading. Trading has a lot of admin that needs to be done. If you want to become a good trader, you have to complete the admin. Okay. It's like warming up and warming down before and after a workout. Eventually you're going to get injured. And injury in the trading game is you're going to blow your account. So, you've got to do the admin around it. It's part of the process. You can't avoid doing it. You've got to see trading as a business. And in a business, you don't just go out. Let's say you start up a food truck. You don't just go out and sell food and not speak to the stockist, not speak to your accountant, not speak to your business planner. You can't just go out and sell food. You have to have the admin in place. You have to do forecasting. You have to do finances. There's loads of stuff that comes with running a business, and trading is running a business. Okay. The actual clicking the button and taking the trade, that's only one part of it. That's 10% of it. There's so much work that needs to be done around it. And that's something that is really, really important to understand. Coming back to where we were. So we've got this trading journal. Okay. At the very least, what you should be doing is logging your trades and seeing how many of them win and how many lose. Now, from there, you can then start to look at the strategy itself. For example, let's say all of these results were 1-to-1. So let me just change a few of these. Hopefully I can change back easily. Okay. Change a few of these. I'm just going to delete some of these down here. Okay. Should be able to go back into it. Okay. So let's say that was our strategy. So I've had 5R on these trades. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins and 2 losses. So that gives me 5R in total. Really good win rate, a 77% win rate, which is fantastic. However, because of the 1-to-1 1-to-1 risk to reward, I've only actually returned 5R. Now, what this does for me automatically, and this is like I said, this is why I don't use things like TradeZella, because I've built everything that I need, is it tests for me various different strategies. For example, what happens if I hold my trade to 2R and I don't use a break-even rule? What happens if I hold my trade to 3R and I go to break-even at 1? What happens if I hold my trade for 4R and I go to break-even at 1? So these are various different strategies that I can use to determine how more or less profitable. Now, what you need when you're testing any new strategy, and I don't care how long you've been trading, if you haven't been through this process and you are not yet a profitable trader, you must go through this process to become a profitable trader. This is exactly how I teach my students how to become profitable, and I've got multiple guys now funded. You need to go through this process to understand if your strategy works first. Once you've done that and you understand if your strategy works, you then need to understand how much more or less profitable you can be. So, as you can see in these columns, if I'd held my trades to 4R and I'd never gone to break even, those same 5 trades that I took, those same 9 trades that I took, I would have made 21% or 21R instead. My win rate would have dropped slightly. However, I would have made 21% instead of 5%. So now I've got the data to help me understand that actually holding my trades for longer makes me more money. And that's a really, really important statistic that you need to grow and develop as a trader. You need to understand that holding your trades for longer is a good thing to do, and whether or not it makes you more or less money. Now, if you look at my actual results on here, okay, my actual results show me that I made 55.9. Okay, I had a 77% win rate. Look over here, my 4R column, my 4-to-1 column made more money, made 66% instead of 55%. However, my win rate would have dropped from 77% down to 52%. So for me, I'm looking at thinking, do you know what? I don't care. I'm not going to change what I'm doing just to gain another 10%, because I'm going to be losing 20% more trades. And mentally, for me, that's going to be more difficult. Now, when you're less experienced, these numbers are probably going to be wildly different. For me, who's got my strategy pretty nailed and pretty well, well organized and structured, and I follow it religiously, my stats should be pretty close to these columns. There shouldn't be much different between how I'm trading, because I've learned over the years how to maximize my trades and how to make the most money out of my trades. Okay, but ultimately, you guys have to go through that process now, and the process that you need to follow is just data collection. Now, you don't have to do it completely on your own either. There are many ways that you can journal. Now, one of the ways I'd like to talk you through today is how to use the City Traders Imperium journal as well. So if you go to your accounts and then go into your trade history, okay, you can go into here. This is just an old account from many moons ago, 2023. You can go into your trade history and there's a journal section. What you've got to do is you've got to scroll across to the right and you've got to click that little symbol here and it opens up a journal, okay? And what you can do is you can take a screenshot. So let's say we go, delete all this stuff. Let's say we go down, So we go down and this is our trade that we took. We're going to take a screenshot of that. We're going to pop that in here. So we're going to drag and drop. So I need to just save this, download this image, just save this for me. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put this in here. Okay, that puts that trade for me in this section down here. I'm just uploading it at the moment. Okay, or you can just upload it like this, as you can see there. And what this effectively does, it gives you the ability then to go back and review the trade. Okay, it's going to take a little bit of time to process, of course, review the trade. You can then put in here your entry strategy. So use tight entry after rejection candle. Okay, comments on the trade and held for 20R. Add no drawdown. Okay, and what you do with this is you would play, let's say this was the trade when you entered it. You would take the trade like this, okay, download that image, save that, take the trade like this. We then put that in here. Let's refresh this quickly, 2 seconds. Okay, so back here. Okay, so let's go back and upload that first photo, which was here. Okay, so that's how the trade started. Then we upload that one, which is how the trade finished. Okay, so tight entry, rejection candle, in New York, kill zone, exit strategy closed at 20R, and then you can put tags in here. So like Euro USD. Okay, you can add that as a tag, so then you can filter down your trades I don't know, rejection, candle. Okay, add that, and then you can save that. And that then logs that trade for you right from the middle of the strategy tester, the journal within CTI, City Traders Imperium. So that's a way that you can journal within, City Traders. If you guys are doing a trading account, something like that. You've obviously got things like TradeZella, which can be really effective as well, as we discussed earlier. So Boss Lady and NTJ is another automation software as well. Does everything, and it backtests. You are right. So there's a few different platforms that you can use. Again, Boss Lady, a very experienced trader, earning good money through trading, I'm sure. So has the finances to do it. When you're first starting out, you may not have the finances to fund things like NTJ software, TradeZella, things like that. So basic journal. The most important thing, and I'll come back to this, and I'll sound like a broken record as I often do. The most important thing that you need to understand is you just have to journal. That's it. It's as simple as that. Okay. Boss Lady, I will send it across to you. I'll send it across to you. If you reach out to me on Instagram, at StrongMoneyForex, reach out to me on Instagram. I'll be more than happy to send it across to you. And you can let me know how you get on with it. Secret advanced support is maximally crossover price above. I'm still in all mode. Yeah, okay. So improve learning. Okay, well look. Yeah, look, I'm sure your mentor's a good, trustworthy mentor. It does seem too good to be true to me. And I've been through 1,000,001 strategies in my time like that, and they haven't returned a 50% win rate, and they haven't returned it a 10-1. But if it's working and you trust them, then good luck to you. I really wish you all the best. Today, like I said, though, Emma, we are discussing primarily journaling processes rather than strategies. If you want to talk to me about that offline, you're welcome to do so. But this is primarily a session about journaling rather than what your mentor's teaching you, okay? But again, wish you all the best with it. Hope it works out for you, okay? Okay, so those are your few options in terms of journaling. Now, what I think works best is what works best. Okay, think about that. What works best is what works best, i.e. the journaling process that works best is the one that works best for you. For example, I built a journal for my students quite recently, which gives them the ability to trade and log everything they need to. Dates, lot size, risk percentage gain, entry model, the trading strategy that they're using, the strategy tester that we just looked at, but in a nicer refined version, comments, trade results, basically everything that you could possibly need all in one. Okay. And this is something that I built to be a kind of the be all and end all of trading journals. Okay. One of my most experienced students doesn't like it. And that's cool. I got no problem with that at all. It doesn't work for him, and therefore he needs to follow his own journaling process. Yeah, Carmen, it's the new journal. I think you've got access to it though already. You've got access to it already. He doesn't like it, and that's cool. No offense to me, because he's got a process that he likes to use using a Notion template, and that's something else again that you can use. So I don't really use my Notion template anymore, but I can show you at least. So Notion's another way that you can journal, where this is a more interactive trading journal that you can use. Very similar, that it builds you a table effectively, and you can do some really fancy things with Notion, like some really, really cool things. What's great about Notion is that you can go in to each trade and you can analyze each trade like this. So you can then put comments on each trade. You can do like trading checklists. These checklists can then, associate themselves with the table. You can calculate things like win rate, win and loss, and there's loads and loads of stuff that you can do within it. It is a really cool process. Some people find that more complicated. Some people prefer that. It's really up to your own preference. But the most important thing, we've spoken about, the CTI journal. We've spoken about the CTI journal over here. We've spoken about the CTI journal, which allows you to record your trades and go back and review them. We've spoken about basic strategy testers where you're just recording win and loss rate. We spoke about more complicated and more advanced Excel spreadsheets, and we've looked at journal spreadsheets as well. There's Notion templates as well. There is 1,000,001 ways that you can journal and 1,000,001 ways that you can take trades. Okay, and however you do it, it doesn't really matter. You just need to make sure that you do it. Boss Lady uses Notion, but most using Futures Era before all those others. Yeah, Notion is a great one. The reason why I stopped using it is because I found it more time consuming, and because it was more time consuming, I did it less, or I would put it off and I then have load to do at once. I find with an Excel spreadsheet, it's really quick. You just literally boom, 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 boom. Funny enough, though, I'm in the process of building a hybrid between my spreadsheet and a Notion template. So we can hopefully find a bit of unity between the two, because Notion is a very, very capable piece of software. So yeah, I do agree that Notion's a good one as well. Have we missed anything? So those of you who are watching right now, are there any other ways that we can be looking at journaling? Is there anything else that we can be doing? Is there anything that I've missed or I've not mentioned? Whilst we wait for those comments to come in, let's just have a look at some price action. Let's see what's going on in the marketplace at the moment. Let's have a look at Euro USD, and we'll do a little bit of forecasting on Euro USD in the last kind of few minutes. Just a quick little section. So look, we had, let's just clear off this chart a little bit, okay? We had obviously a bullish week last week. Now, I'm not looking at this and thinking, oh, do you know what? We are now bullish, okay? In fact, I'm looking at this still as, very heavily bearish. So in terms of, just basic structures that we've got here, okay, we are, pushing bearish. And so for me, my higher time frame perspective is very much still bearish. Looking at the daily as well, looks like we're navigating down to a bearish day, which is all well and good. And I'm looking at my 4-hour ranges. Although technically, if I look at my hourly time frame, technically I am in bullish structure right now. Okay, I'm looking at this and thinking, do you know what? We might actually be pushing bearish right now, and potentially are we getting a shift? That for me is just a first breaker structure. Nothing really to worry about just yet. And if anything, that first breaker structure for me has actually just laid a trap for us to go long. So I'm not actually considering we are short again just yet, but my expectation would be that we're probably going to be going short. We have a very real chance that price could pull back. We are so early in the week, too early to determine where market is going to be headed yet. But I would hazard a guess alongside my dollar understanding is that, if you look at the dollar from a higher time frame perspective, the dollar has pushed bearish, okay, and we've had a false break here, so I am expecting higher prices. So look at Euro USD, okay, Euro USD pull back into this kind of higher time frame structure from here to here. So we are bearish overall in structure. The dollar has come down, actually swept that level. And now we're pushing bullish again. So I would expect a bullish week. If I was going to make a prediction, I would expect bullish price action. Still need some confirmation on this. I've had a shift on the buy side right now. I've had a shift on the buy side. A shift towards the buy side. And, I'm expecting higher prices, but it's not a great position to buy. And it's only Monday at the end of the day. It's only Monday. We've had, first breaker structure here. So price could come down here, come to retag this retag this trap. It could, come down, sweep that, and then push higher. Where it goes right now, I don't know. It's stuck kind of in the middle of nowhere, so I need a little bit of confirmation before we can take any trades on the dollar. Very sorry. I thought this was a strategy chat. Keys in the title: journaling your trades will get you funded faster. Emma, it's right at the top. So the topic that we discuss is always this: is what's your annual win rate, RR, total capital. Most strategies are just support and resistance with different names such as liquidity, supply and demand. I would strongly disagree with that statement. If your trading mentor has taught you that, they've taught you incorrect information. No strategies are support and resistance. Not all strategies are support and resistance. Support and resistance is a very specific strategy. Typically is considered to be one of the least profitable strategies, so just something to be aware of. Every time price reversed, pulls back, it's reacting to resistance or support. It's all you need to be profitable. Advanced support resistance, just understand it. Look, again, look, I'm not here to contest your strategy at all. I'm just talking about my personal experiences. If you're making, 50% win rate with 10 to 1, then great. If you're just explaining what you've been taught by your mentor, just do your research first. If you've been taught something by a mentor and you need to do your research first. That's all I'd say. Mentors and gurus are very good at making their strategies sound like the Holy Grail. I'm not here to put my strategy on you. Equally, you need to do the testing and you need to make sure that you're getting the results that your mentors promised you before you go around telling people it's the right way to trade. I'm assuming, Emma, that you are a not experienced trader right now. You're still learning how to trade and therefore probably not quite making the profitability that you're wanting to make just yet. So I would just hazard a guess that you are, this is third-hand knowledge, as in you're talking about the information that your mentors taught you. And I would just be really careful with that, because you need to prove the results first. Just because they're telling you that it works doesn't mean that it does. Do the research, get the results, and then you can start teaching people as well. I'll just explain what I've been taught, not practiced yet. Yeah, so exactly. So you've not practiced it yet. You're paying $100 a month. Look, I wish you all the best, like I said, but you are within a mentorship. You're being taught one way to trade. Just be open-minded to the fact that there's lots of other ways to trade. Okay. And, again, if you want to talk about your strategy, take it off this live stream. This live stream is about journaling. The content of the live stream was clearly listed in the heading. So just yeah. We'll move on from this point now anyway. If you want to talk to me about your strategy, then you're welcome to reach out to me directly. Okay, so that is my analysis on the dollar for now. I'm expecting, although, again, we're looking quite bearish right now. Higher time frame is quite bullish. I'm looking for like a shift, a nice shift in bullish momentum, and hopefully we can get some good trades out of this over the next few days, which would be lovely to see. In terms of kind of where to go next, so I think the most important thing that you need to understand is it doesn't matter how you're doing it, okay? It doesn't matter how you're doing it. It just matters why you're doing it. And what's really, really important is that your trading journal serves a purpose. What I mean by that is it's not just you're putting trades in a spreadsheet and you're closing it down and you're not looking at it again. The point is that it needs to serve a purpose. You have to be gathering that data for a particular reason. And that could be that you're trying to work out whether you're profitable. That could be that you're trying to work out whether you can make more money with the same trades. It really is, a personal journey. But if nothing else, just start recording trades from today. Start putting them into a spreadsheet. The spreadsheet doesn't have to be, anything particularly fancy. It just needs to maybe log. Well, that's the thing with journaling. You will start to log the information that you want to log, because you'll start noticing patterns. You'll start noticing reasons why you are and aren't trading. And if you're not sure where to start, get a template. Go online now and search Excel trading journal, or actually Notion trading journal. There's actually 10, I think, on the Notion website. There's 10 trading journals on the Notion website that you can download for free and you can start using straight away. So definitely have a look at some of those. That would be a good place. You're most likely being scammed. That strategy sounds like a retail trap. I mean, look, I'm not sure about that. Hopefully it's not, but definitely worth doing your research. It's definitely worth doing your research before you look at any other trading mentors and things like that. So make sure that you've got verified information. That's all I'd say. So going forward from today, I want you guys to set yourself a project. I want you to come away from this and set yourself a 30-day project, okay? As in, every single time that you take a trade for the next 30 days, I want you to log it somewhere. That could be in Notion. That could be on a Excel spreadsheet. That could be on a notepad and pen that's sat by your desk. There's a million and one ways that you can do it, but just do it. Do it for 30 days. And this is my promise to you. If you get to the end of that 30 days and you are no better as a trader, I will eat a hat. I would say my hat, but I'm not wearing a hat. I will eat a hat live on this session, if you can show me that journal and you can honestly say, I've done 30 days of logging trades and it hasn't made any difference, okay? I think we can all agree. And look, most of you have probably been putting the job off. Take this as my reassurance. I'm a professional trader of 10 years. I've taught multiple people how to be profitable, and I've taught multiple people how to get funded through prop firms, okay? I know my stuff, I know the processes. And one of the things that I'm good at, even better than my own trading, is I'm good at helping people become profitable. I specialize in putting processes in place and managing traders' performance to ensure that they progress. The one key thing that everybody needs is they need a journaling process. They need to gather that data. Just sitting in the marketplaces and having a go every day is not good enough. It is not good enough. You will not make it as a trader doing that. You might make some profit. You're going to make more losses than you make profits. You need data to understand where you're going right and where you're going wrong. Because when you become a professional trader, you don't actually get much better with the strategy that you've learned. You just refine it. And what that usually means is that you're taking stuff away. You're removing things. You're removing trades that you should never have taken in the first place. And that constant process of removing bad trades, or what I class as a B grade trade, and focusing and doubling down on your A grade trades, that's what makes you a profitable and a qualified, experienced trader. Okay. And that's what I want you to do. So it's a 30-day challenge. Between now and 30 days time, I want you coming back on this live stream, and I want you telling me how much you progressed using the journaling process that we've spoken about today. 30 days, I want you to give 30 days consistent journaling every single day. Really simple. Do it at the end of the day. Now, if you're getting to the end of the day and you're thinking, oh my God, I've got 10, 15 trades to log, you are over trading. Nobody has that many trades in the day, not even professionals. You should be getting to the end of the day and having 1 or 2 trades. If you've got a good strategy, it will return 1 or 2 options usually a day. You don't need to be trading 10, 15 pairs. You don't need to be trading 10, 15 times a day. If you're doing that, you're trading too much. Cut things down, filter it out, take the best trades, 1 or 2 trades per day, log it on your journal. 30-day time, I want you back on here, and I want you telling me and explaining to me, showing me how much progression that you've made. All right? That's all we've got time for today. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you joining in. Thank you to those of you in the comments and chipping in and helping me out whilst I'm on my own. I've been talking basically at a picture of myself for an hour. And so you guys in the comments today have helped massively and supported me throughout it. If you're not doing so already, make sure you're subscribed to the City Traders Imperium channel. And we'll be back next Monday at 1:30 for the next live stream. Cheers.